It is our privilege today to welcome Dr. Mark Ward, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, to be our commencement speaker. Now, we were joking a little before we began, and I was talking with Associate Dean Gail Hayes and saying at this time, if we'd planned it ahead of time, I would have our faculty do the wave through here. Dr. Ward guides and leads over 40 academic programs offered at the undergraduate, graduate, and theological seminary level. And he's involved in many, many things here on our campus. Dr. Ward is a native of Newton, Iowa, and holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and Business from Calvin College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, an MBA degree from the University of Denver, and a PhD in Business from the University of Illinois, Chicago. He began his career in industry and then moved to his present vocation in the academy at Trinity College, Trinity Christian College, and now, thankfully, at the University of Dubuque, where he began his service in 2010. Now, my guess is that many of you in this room have absolutely no idea what a dean's role is in a college or a university setting. Good deans, of which Mark is certainly one of the best, have a sense of stewardship about the institution they serve. Though theirs is a position vested with much power, good deans are first servants. As servants, they tend to the mission of this university. They tend to their faculty and the support staff who execute that mission, and to the overall experience of the students who are formed in this mission. Under his guidance and leadership, our faculty has grown substantially, and new undergraduate majors have been developed in chemistry, economics, sport management, physician assistant, and more. Along with Assistant Dean Gail Hayes, Mark led the establishing of that physician assistant graduate program, the application of which was over 1,000 pages long. And you thought you had term papers. All of these things and more are important, but what is missing in this mix is that more than anything else, Dr. Ward is a gracious and kind, focused on his work and calling, a wonderful husband, father, and grandfather, and for our sakes, is committed to facilitating the very best experience for each one of you who are graduating today. You may not always see a lot of him, but his fingerprint is on nearly every dimension of this very dynamic organization. And it is with a great deal of gratitude that I would like to invite you to join with me in welcoming Dr. Mark Ward to deliver our 2019 commencement address.
President Bullock, thank you. Chairman Kalapati, faculty colleagues, thank you for this opportunity. And family and friends of our graduates, welcome. We're glad to have you on campus today. And members of the graduating class of 2019, congratulations. As you prepare to leave UD, I have one last message for you. And I'll walk to. Ya is ora, droha, iesta timpul, shishihola, Hatistide, Lisitan, Vremeye. That is the message in the native language of some of today's graduates: Arabic, Spanish, Georgian, Romanian, Chinese, Dutch, Haitian Creole, and Serbian. But for those of you whose native language is English, here's the message. It's time. We've loved having you here at the University of Dubuque. It's been a privilege to walk with you on your educational journey, but it's time. It's time for the next chapter of your life story. Well, actually, it's almost time. In a few minutes, I'll be handing you over to the president, who will confer your degrees. But before that degree conferral, and before you move on to new endeavors, I have 3 final assignments for you to complete. And there's about 3,500 people in this hall waiting for you to finish, so let's get to it. Assignment number 1. It's time to celebrate. You made it. Congratulations. Graduates, when you cross the stage to receive your diploma, you join a very select group of people. Less than 10% of the world's adult population has earned an undergraduate degree, and less than 3% of that population has earned a master's degree. So congratulations, you've done something very few others have been able to accomplish, and that's something to celebrate. Now, for some of you, this day has additional significance, and I'm going to ask if you are in this category to stand so we can recognize you. If you are the first person in your immediate family to graduate from college, would you stand up? Come on, don't be shy. Well, I want to say congratulations to you, because this is a momentous day, not just for you, but in the life of your family. Because this accomplishment has tremendous implications for future generations in your family. Because you have a college degree now, you have dramatically increased the likelihood that your children will graduate from college. So you have changed the trajectory of your entire family, and so way to go. Good job. The next group I want to recognize will need to show a little courage here, because I'm not going to ask you to stand, but I will ask you to raise your hand good and high if you fit in this category. If it took you more than 4 years to get your undergraduate degree, or more than 2 years to get your master's degree, raise your hands. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations. You have modeled a very important life lesson. Perseverance is more important than speed. You know, there's been quite a bit of research on perseverers, the category in which you now fall. And there's some interesting qualities that you share. You see a larger purpose in what you're doing, while at the same time have a sense of realism. You have the ability to improvise. If you can't climb the mountain, you go around it. So if you raised your hand, it means you persevered, and you definitely are ready for the next chapter of your life. Congratulations. So, it's time to celebrate. Now, that first assignment wasn't too bad, was it? You made it through that okay. So your next assignment's going to take a little more effort. So assignment number 2. It's time to say thanks. Gratitude isn't a new concept at the University of Dubuque. Some of you graduates were Wendt Character Scholars, and each fall you led us in a gratitude week. But I really hope that all of you, every day you were on this campus, witnessed at least one act of gratitude. Now, being grateful is a good thing to do. Maintaining an attitude of gratitude gets us outside of ourselves. It helps us acknowledge that we never accomplish anything important by ourselves. And that's especially true of anyone who's earned a college degree. A lot of people helped you along the way. And cultivating gratitude is not only a good thing to do, it's good for you. The ancient philosopher Plato knew this. He said, "A grateful mind is a great mind which eventually attracts to itself great things." And amazingly, researchers recently found out that Plato knew what he was talking about, because it turns out that grateful people have more relationships, they're healthier, they sleep better, they manage stress better, and they have healthier self-esteem. So it's time to say thanks. Say thanks to your family and friends who are seated behind you because they have been behind you through this entire journey, cheering you on, providing physical, financial, emotional, spiritual support. So graduates, would you join me right now in thanking your family and friends for their contributions to your college degree? So my assignment for you is, before you leave campus today, gather your family and friends together and tell them thank you for their part in your success. And say thanks to your faculty. You know firsthand that we have an exceptional faculty at the University of Dubuque. They invest in teaching and research and service so that they can invest in you. Graduates, you've been learning in an environment where everyone has been focused on your success, and that is a blessing that few people ever experience in their life, to be in that kind of environment. From my position as dean, I know that every one of them could better their financial situation by doing something other than being a college professor. But they're here, and they're here because they find their meaning in life. They define their success in terms of your success. So I'm going to ask the faculty to stand, and would you all please join me? Come on, stand up. And would you all please join me in thanking them for their role in these graduates' education? Thank you. So before you leave campus today, find at least 2 faculty members, look them in the eye, say thank you, and tell them just exactly how they have made a difference in your life. So it's time to celebrate. It's time to give thanks. Your final assignment will be the most challenging. It won't be completed today, and it will demand everything you have to offer in life. So here it is, assignment number 3. It's time to sacrifice. Now, sacrifice might seem like a strange message for a commencement address, but I'm not the first one to deliver it. Let me share some words from an important figure in American history, W.E.B. Du Bois. Du Bois was born a few years after the American Civil War. He was the first African American to earn a doctorate degree from Harvard University, and he went on to become a major contributor to the field of sociology and an important voice in the conscience of the American people. About 90 years ago, Du Bois was giving a commencement address to a group much like yourself. And here's what he said. The insistent problem of human happiness is still with us. To increase abiding satisfaction for all people, someone must sacrifice something of his or her own happiness. This is a duty only to those who recognize it as a duty. The larger the number ready to sacrifice, the smaller the total sacrifice necessary. It's silly to tell intelligent human beings, be good and you will be happy. The truth is today, be good, be decent, be honorable and self-sacrificing, and you will not always be happy. You will often be desperately unhappy. You may even be crucified, dead, and buried, and on the 3rd day you will be just as dead as the first. But with the death of your happiness may easily come increased happiness and satisfaction and fulfillment for other people, strangers, unborn babes, uncreated worlds. If, therefore, real sacrifice for other in your life work appeals to you, here it is. Now, Du Bois's words should have a familiar ring to you graduates. As a Christian university, the language of sacrifice is central to our identity. We look to Jesus Christ as our model and guide. He made the ultimate sacrifice for the entire world. And in that context, the context of Christian faith, I want to remind you that your sacrifice comes not from a position of loss, but from a position of privilege, the privilege to sacrifice. And when you sacrifice for others, you do so not from a position of weakness, but a position of strength. Because we believe you are created in the very image of God. And because of that, you have tremendous capabilities and are people of ultimate worth. And your sacrifice is for a purpose. Many of you just completed your Here I Stand speeches in which you spoke about your calling in life. I challenge you to see your calling as a self-sacrificial act, giving yourself in service to the church and world. You are well prepared. You are individuals we believe in. You can do it. Now, you may have heard the saying that's sometimes used as either a blessing combined with a curse. May you live in interesting times. I'm confident that you will be living in interesting times, but it's really not the kind of time you live in that matters. What matters is how you spend the time you have. Cultivate joy. Celebrate the good things in life. Practice gratitude and say thanks. And embrace sacrifice. Make service to others your goal. Graduates, congratulations. Your final assignments are complete. You're ready. It's time.